Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm back. Did y'all miss me? Yeah, I missed y'all too. This is your always incompetent host, Original Grubby, and we're coming back to you with a bit of an update video. I don't have many subscribers, and a lot of people might not care, but for those who do, you might be wondering where I've been. And to be honest, I've been out of the house. COVID's had us locked down for quite a while now, and got the vaccine, and things have been getting better. Yeah, I've been enjoying what little bit of summer we've had to enjoy, um, and yeah, I figured I'd make a quick little video, let you know that I'm still around, still kicking, still alive. Um, I haven't really been pushing out too much content, like, because again, I've been out, been doing things, trying to make the best of it. I haven't really been able to go anywhere or do anything with my daughter for the last year and a bit, because everything's been closed and shut down. So, yeah, been out and enjoying things, going to the zoo, you know, going to the beach, been able to have a proper birthday party for my daughter. It's the first time in 2 years that she's had a proper birthday party. So, yeah, just been doing my thing and enjoying life and having a good time. Still here, still good. Even though things are still a bit gloomy outdoors, it's still in good mental spirit. And yeah, so I figured I would make a quick little video. Obviously things look a little different in here, not super different, but at the trained eye it's different. So yeah, a bit of a rig update. Here obviously looks a little different, because I got some flight gear. Trying to think of what it is. My dad actually gave me his old Saytech / Logitech Pro Flight equipment. You can see the rudders down there, and everything else is behind me, but I've been rearranging the office, and I got some new shelving. Dirty Walmart plastic shelving, but I don't care. It holds my stuff, and that's all I care about. But it's still a bit of a mess. So yeah, I'll give you a bit of more of a room tour later on. Sorry for the audio. I'm turning my head without turning the camera like an idiot. So, what else has changed? Got the mesh kit front for the old case. Got some more 120 mil Corsair light loop fans. I'm not here all day. Yeah, it's been a long day. What else? Oh, we did a little upgradey in here. What do we got here? I don't know if it's easy to tell. Different motherboard. I actually upgraded to a Ryzen CPU. I went with a Ryzen 5600X and an Asus ROG Strix B550F gaming? Some motherboard, I don't know. And it's not a huge upgrade. Look at that dust. I gotta clean that out. It's not a huge upgrade over the 8700K, which I will get to in a second. But yeah, it's nice. It does the job. And it having that Gen 4 PCIe and everything, especially with a new RTX card, is kind of nice. And it leaves me the room to upgrade to something. I hear 5970X's or something's on the horizon. So I'm keeping my eye open and squirreling some money away. And but for now, this will do me. Also upgraded to a 240 millimeter deep cool AIO. Now, I didn't actually upgrade. I stole it off my wife. It was in my wife's PC, but I couldn't find the hardware for my old Corsair H55 to mount it to an AMD board, so I knew where hers was, so I kind of swiped it. And to be honest, she, well, she doesn't know. Well, she knows, she just doesn't care because her PC is not utilized enough to really need a 240 millimeter rad, which I will get to in a minute too. So yeah, that's been upgraded and it works good-ish. Typical AMD problems pop up every so often, but hasn't been anything too crazy, too out of the ordinary. Ugh, God, dust, that's disgusting. So yeah, what else has changed? Swapped to a pair of wired Corsair Void headphones, because yeah, the wireless ones, they weren't holding a charge, and I spent all my time with them plugged in anyway, and I really didn't know how to swap the batteries in them. I mean, I looked at tutorials and I didn't really feel too comfortable doing it. So yeah, I just opted to get a pair of wired ones. I don't care. The headphones are headphones to me. Wired, wireless, doesn't matter. I don't know if you can see the white box under there. Upgraded to gigabit internet, which has been amazing. So much nicer. I mean, the ability to download, an entire 60 plus gigabyte game in, 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how Steam's feeling that day, is pretty nice. But yeah, what else? So flight sim gear, new CPU and motherboard. Now I did, in order to buy that, it actually was on sale for a pretty smoking deal. I did a combo. They were willing to do a combo with the CPU and motherboard, and I ended up selling my Oculus Quest 2 because to be honest, it just made me sick all the time. Anything I did just kind of, aside from VR poker, it just made me nauseous. And I never used it, to be honest. It's one of those things where you always want it, you get it, and then you never use it. And you're like, well, why do I have this if I'm never going to use it? So I managed to get about what I paid for it. So I was like, all right, and I sold that, and it worked out to almost the same price as what the CPU and motherboard was. So I was like, fine, I'll sell one and get the other. May as well get something I'm going to use and use all the time versus have something that has sat on my shelf for 6 months and I've used it maybe 6 or 7 times. So I figure if I ever upgrade, I want to go up to like the Valve Index or something that's got like the hand finger controls, so you can flip people the bird in poker or something. I don't know. Even though it makes me sick as heck, but whatever. Maybe they'll figure out a way to smooth it out so it doesn't make you as motion sick. I don't know. Or if that's just a permanent thing. But yeah, I figure I can just always go back to it. What else? Oh, the wife's PC. Yeah, so she ended up getting a bit of an upgrade. And I don't know if I went over this or not. I really can't remember. I should go over my old videos and find out where I am before I start rambling on, because people are probably going to be like, what the frig is this guy doing? But yeah, what my original plan with this PC was to get just a new motherboard to help do some overclocking with the 8700K, because I had a Gigabyte, what was it, Z370P D3 or something, which was an alright budget motherboard. It wasn't the greatest thing, but it wasn't really an overclocker's board. So I went online and I found a few different ones, and a dude was selling a Maximus Hero, and I thought about it, and ended up not getting it because the guy lived about 2 hours away, and I figured by the time I get it, and spend the money and time and gas and everything, I may as well just buy, a new motherboard. So then I found an Asus TUF Z390 board, I think. Yeah, that's what it is. And it was the same price as what the guy was asking for the Maximus, but it was like down the road. So I'm like, all right, whatever, I'll go with that board. It's got decent reviews. It's Again, not the greatest board, but try it anyway. So I picked it up, and when the guy showed up, normally I trust my gut. I've had amazing luck on Facebook Marketplace. I'm sorry, I'm just ranting on here with panning the camera, but I've had pretty amazing luck on Facebook Marketplace with buying stuff. And when this guy rolled up, my gut said, just leave. It said, say thanks, but no thanks. And I know it'll sound stupid, but I'm the sort of person who, if I waste your time, I'll probably give you $5 for gas or something, because I wasted your time. Unless you pull something out and it's absolute garbage, disgusting junk, then sorry, But if you brought something good and I change my mind, or if I, look at it and I don't want it, I'll probably slip you at least $5 for wasting your time, And I know that sounds stupid, but to me, that's just, I don't like having my time wasted, and I don't like wasting others' times. Even though right now I'm wasting your time, and I'm sorry, I'd give you all $5 if I could, but I don't know any of you, and I just can't do that. So, yeah, so I looked at the board and I looked it over, and the guy, typical guy, well, I shouldn't say typical, non-typical, showed up in a really high-end car, stunk of weed, and when he opened the back, it was full of just all kinds of electronics junk, like that you'd think either just fell off the back of a truck or was like returns or something. And I was like, oh no, my gut was like, no, just leave. But I looked at the board and looked and looked and looked, and everything that you normally check on a board, pins and everything, all looked good. So I'm like, you know what? I've had good luck. I haven't, don't judge a book by its cover just because the guy shows up and is trying to sell you everything under the sun that looks like it fell off the back of a truck or is an Amazon return. And so I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll go for it. And this was the time I got burned. Because I didn't think to look, didn't think to check. I just looked over the board, gave him the money, came home, and then before, thankfully, I started the teardown, I just took the board out of the box. And I noticed, I don't know if you see it here, but this rolling around in the box. Now, I've never had a box with wireless connections, so I thought, well, maybe this is just a cover for the wireless antenna holes in the back, maybe just keep it safe. And I go look, and no, there's no covers, and I'm like, okay, well, what could it be? And I checked, I don't know if that's going to focus in the top, and yep, it's a capacitor. So I'm like, oh, come on, just rolling around. So I'm looking around. And finally, I figured out where it was, and I can't really show you now because it's in my wife's case, and she's got a tinted. I mean, I can try and show you, but she's got a tinted. Maybe if I turn it on, she's got a tinted case. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to see in there. No, but anyway, underneath the graphics card, there's a capacitor. There's two capacitors underneath the PCI Express slot, and I think they're to help manage power to the graphics card, and so I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. So, of course, being Facebook Marketplace, you're not getting your money back, you're screwed, that's it. So I plugged it all in, and the thing still worked. It worked perfectly fine, apart from when you actually plugged in a video card, it wouldn't display a signal. But if you just did onboard video, it worked perfectly fine. There was nothing wrong with this board apart from that capacitor being knocked off. So I ended up ordering some capacitors, and I was looking around for someone to actually do the work, and there's nobody within 100 kilometers who does any kind of work like this. And I'm like, well, screw me, right? So my plan was to buy this board, swap everything over, and give my wife the 8700K and my old motherboard. But then I'm like, you know what? I got nothing to lose with this board. It's one capacitor. I ordered the proper capacitor to replace it. I couldn't find anyone to install it, but I looked online, and it was a pretty easy solder job, right? So I'm like, what have I got to lose? I can't really sell it. I wouldn't sell it. I'm not going to sell broken equipment. I'm not like that. I could sell it for parts, but I'm not the type to go out and sell a board that doesn't work. That just, what am I gaining from that? you know, it's part of a bad reputation for selling busted stuff. So I'm like, you know what, I'll try it. Got myself a soldering iron and swapped over the capacitor, because thankfully when they did it, they completely just ripped out from the bottom. So the little feet, the little legs that come out of those holes were still in the board. You know, it didn't do any major damage to the board. So I managed to get the little legs out and I got the new capacitor in. And it works. It works perfectly fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. So I managed to save it. So I threw her the new board. I gave her the 8700K. More Lego. Not enough Lego. And yeah, you can't see in there now, but yeah, I mean, it works fine. You know, and she really only plays, like I said, WoW and Civilization. I think she's getting a bit into Humankind now. So, let me shut this down again. So she doesn't play anything that really fires the CPU up. But I figured, you know, why get rid of an 8700K? You know, I can get rid of my 8400, and I can still get decent money off it, and I can still get decent money off my old motherboard. You know, give her something good, and now she really just needs to upgrade her video card. So now that prices are less stupid, I guess I should say, on like 3060s, she might upgrade to a 3060. Maybe we'll look at trying to do her something later on. Because yeah, she's running an old RX 480, or is it 580, I think. And I mean, it does WoW and Civ just fine, you know, but if she's looking to try and play anything else, it's not really gonna work too well. So yeah, that's the story about how I got screwed on Facebook Marketplace. Sorry about the tangent, but yeah. So, apart from that, nothing else that I can think of at the moment. So I guess I'll cut this a little bit short, and well, 20 minutes isn't short, but it's better than nothing. And yeah, hopefully getting it back to somewhat of a, I wouldn't say normal upload schedule, because I am going to be getting back to work soon. Now that summer's ending and my daughter's going back to school, we can finally get some normalcy going, and I can get back to work. But I'm still going to try and get, a couple of videos up a week. A lot of really cool games coming out in the next little while. So I'm hoping to get a lot of that covered and get some content on that, and maybe do some streaming. Twitch.tv/originalgrubby, if anyone didn't know. Feel free to go over and hit that like button and follow, and you'll be notified whenever I go live there. But yeah, apart from that, everything's good. Family's good, daughter's good, wife's good, I'm good. Yeah, just trying to get back to normal. Still, 2 years later. Who would have guessed? Anyway, yeah, that's it for me, and I hope you're all good. I hope you're all staying safe, and taking it easy and enjoying yourselves. And I shall catch you soon, I hope. So, yeah, thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.